Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and you are welcome to the Shabbat of this morning. The parasha that we're going to study this morning is known as Parshas Be-Midbar. Ba-Midbar, which means in the wilderness or in the desert. In the wilderness, that's the meaning of Ba-Midbar. And this morning, I subtitled the parasha of this morning as the journey within and the journey without. Remember, the journey within and the journey without. Because we have an internal journey that we are taking individually and collectively, and there is also an external journey, which is what I'm trying to tell us is that we have the spiritual journey, that is the journey within, and we have the external journey, which is the physical journey that we do in our life. Because your journey might be different from mine, right? Mine might be different from yours. My spiritual journey might be different from yours, and your spiritual journey might be different from mine. But what the Holy One, blessed be He, is saying, that is telling us that in the wilderness, that is where He can be able to sit down and communicate with us. Why is it that it is in the wilderness? With the world that we live in now, the 21st century, right? Everything is up and down. The noise, the music, the things that attract our eyes, the things that distract our attention from the Torah, that distract us from following our God, that distract us from doing what is right and what is just, that distract us from doing justice, for being faithful to our Creator and to our King. And that is why God said, okay, I'm going. If you remember in the Torah, in the book of Hosea, chapter 2, from verse 1 to 22, He said, I will bring them back to the desert. Because in the desert, that is when we can completely concentrate. And that is when there is no distraction. Nobody can distract you. No, this physical, the physical material. Not financial things that can distract you from following the Lord. At that time, in the wilderness, in the desert, you'll be 100% concentrated to listen to the voice of the Holy One. Blessed be He. The first day of the second month, in the second year following the exodus from the land of Egypt, the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the tent of the meeting, saying, that is Number chapter 1, verse 1. Be-Midbar chapter 1, verse 1. We begin the book of Be-Midbar by doing honor to the road, by respecting the journey and taking notice of the way. That is where we are in our Torah saga, the wilderness, the desert. Every year we enter Be-Midbar, the book, on the Shabbat just before Shavuot. Remember, tomorrow is going to be Shavuot, and we're going to celebrate that at my place. The giving of the Torah. We are giving in a deep way to the wilderness within and the wilderness without. Before we receive the durable freedom promised when we became free from Egypt, the durable freedom of receiving the Torah, something new and something transforming. Something new and something transforming. Remember the book of Proverbs gives us the understanding that he said that if we will seek the Lord our God with all our heart, with all our soul, the Lord will be closer to us. The Lord will be closer to us when we are closer to Him. Right? I want us to have this understanding that we have the wilderness that is within, and we have the wilderness that is without. And without us respecting this wilderness, we have to respect them, we have to honor them, because it's a kind of a play that God is what is taking us through in this physical life. Remember, the world that we live in is a path to the kingdom. It's a wilderness of its own. And if we are not careful, this physical way, this physical life has a lot of pits, a lot of holes, a lot of dangers. There's a lot of serpents that are there to devour, to destroy. There's a lot of lion that is there to grab you and consume you. There's a lot of dragon that is there to do what, to spit fire on you. But if you does not follow the Torah, if we refuse to follow the commandment and the justice and the law that God has given us, then we will be bound to make mistake, and we will be bound to enter into the pit. The lion will be able to come and consume and take us out. The dragon will be able to spit its fire and will be consumed. But if we follow the Torah, and that is the reason why God has given us the Torah, to give us a path so that we can see where the pits are. We can see the lion before he appears. We can see the dragon before he reaches us. There is a saying that he who sees the enemy first, right, prevail. Once you have the ability to see your enemy before he sees you, you will surely win. You will surely conquer, because you have seen him before he sees you. It's a kind of a war tactics. That is what the people use in the military. It's a military tactics. They want to see the enemy before the enemy sees them. And once you see the enemy, you know the movement of the enemy, you can be able to attack and conquer and beat the enemy to submission. So this is what the Torah is for. Torah is a kind of a guide that is guiding our path. That we will see the pit before they appear. We will see the lions before they appear. We will see the dragon before they appear, and we'll be able to defend ourselves. Because the physical life is filled with danger. It's just exactly like the desert that our forefather passed through. A desert that no one has passed through before. A desert that no one has survived for 40 years. But the only one, blessed be He, makes our forefathers to survive the wilderness and the desert. He provided for them rain at the right time. He gave them manna from heaven. He gave them meat to eat. He spread his wings over them, and he lifted them up upon his mighty wings. He gave their enemy over to them, and God destroyed their enemies. So this is what I am saying, that the journey is just the beginning. You see, the Chinese was saying a journey of 1,000 years starts with a step, and the step that we made by leaving Egypt, God gave us that freedom to be free, and the freedom that God has given us is for us to reach into the desert, into the wilderness, so that we can receive the Torah, so that we can be able to concentrate 100% our attention and hear the commandment of the living God. What He has commanded and what He has ordered us to do. But it is in the wilderness that we beg. It is here in the wilderness that we spend most of this freedom journey. It is the wilderness that requires 40 years of wandering. There will be no generation of redemption, Dor-G'eulah, without a generation that died out in the desert, Dor-ha-Midbar. Something has to die for something new to emerge. And that is where we are in this week saga, in this week wilderness. What I'm saying is, right, because we know that the generation that left Egypt, God said that this generation are hardened generation, that this generation are stiff-necked generation, that this generation does not listen and does not obey the commandment of the living God. And so therefore, they will not enter or see the promised land. And so therefore, they were what? They were wiped out because they were hardened. Even though when seeing all the miracle, when seeing all the power that God displayed, even though when seeing eating the manna, the food of the angels, the heavenly food, they still did not believe. And so therefore, I'm saying that for something new to emerge, for something to grow and blossom, that thing has to die first. And we can see that in the plant that we plant. When you put a seed in the ground, that seed has to die before it becomes alive again. That seed has to die before that seed grow up again. And when it grow up, it becomes a mighty tree, and it can yield thousands and hundreds and thousands of fruit. And this is what we see in the wilderness. That the first generation, they died out, that this generation gave birth to us, so that we can learn from their mistakes, that we can learn for what mistake our forefather did. Okay, this is what my forefather did this was a mistake, this was a mistake, I as their grandchildren or I as their children will not repeat that, so that we can have a blessed and a wonderful life. We also have learned to respect the place, of course, to respect the wilderness. We have to respect it, because if you don't respect it, the wilderness is what is merciless. There's no mercy. If you don't respect it, the wilderness can consume you. Knowing that if we do not conquer it, it will conquer us, which is true. So we live in this tender kind of balance with the wilderness without and the wilderness within. And we have worked out a living relationship, a kind of a reciprocity. We have given and we have taken. We respect and we subdue. We are in that kind of a balance. And the wilderness within and the wilderness without. We have to live a balanced life. That is what I'm telling us this morning. There must be a balance in our daily life. Your spiritual life must not thirst, neither should your physical life. Right? You must not only depend and only fashion only your physical life while abandoning your what? Your spiritual life. You cannot concentrate only 100% on your spiritual life while abandoning your physical life. No. Everything has to be balanced. The creator of the ends of the multiverse make everything balanced. Once you take care of your body, once you take care of your physical wilderness, the same thing, you have to take care of that spiritual one. Once you take care of the wilderness that is within, you have to take care of the wilderness that is without. You have to balance this process. It's all about balancing. We as a people came of age in the wilderness. We grew up there. We came of age in the wilderness within and the wilderness without. We submit and reconcile and integrate and move through. This is not endurance, not a conquering, but a move through, so that we may be ready for the more durable freedom, the gift we are soon to receive at Sinai. The wilderness is a challenge. It is like a personality. It has a character of its own. The road, as it were, is a player in our personal drama. And our drama, as a people, the road plays a part in the drama. And it is as if we come to listen to the call of the road, its message, its draws, its meaning, its direction. The journey is a character, a player in the drama. The road is a player in the drama. In the road, we receive the Torah. In the road, we are tested to the extreme. On the road, we have all kinds of up and down, and that is where we can be able to show our sincerity. That is where we can be able to show our seriousness. That is where we can be able to show our faithfulness to the Lord, our God, our Redeemer, and our King. Are we going to abandon God? Are we going to say, you know what? The road is too tough, the road is too hard, I cannot bear it anymore, I cannot do it anymore, I am tired, I'm giving up? Or are we going to face it head on and say, no matter what, I believe and I know, I hope, I have faith that the Holy One, blessed be He, is with me. As He said, I will be with you, do not fear. That is with me, I shall not fear. In the book of Psalm 23, He said, even though in the valley of the shadow of death, I will have no fear, for the Lord is with me. His rod and His staff, they comfort me. So this is what I'm telling us individually. I know the road is tough, the physical life is hard and it's tough. The same thing with the spiritual life, the concentration, the reading, the tough time will come. Don't deceive yourself. Because there are a lot of people that tell you everything in life is hunky-dory. They tell you when you believe in somebody, and then you receive your salvation, and that is it. Everything will come hunky-dory. Everything will be, oh, fantastic and good and great, and you will never see any temptation and no trials. That is the message of the evil one. That is the message of the negative one. For the Torah tells us completely the opposite. When you have faith, when you believe and you put your hope in the Lord, that is when you will see a kind of temptation and trial. This followed from our forefathers, from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But they stand firm. That followed from our people in the wilderness, but they stood firm. So standing firm is the key. Saying, I know, and I will not go back. I will not draw back, but I will stand firm. I will ask him to help me. I can't do it by myself. I can't take the journey on my own. But I need you, O Lord, to lead me through. I need you to bear me upon your mighty wings. I need you to bear me up. As you said, that I will bear you up upon my wings so that I do not dash my foot against a stone. That is what God is telling us. That he will bear us up. That he is the one that knows the road. Because he is the designer of the wilderness. He is the designer that designed the wilderness without and the wilderness within. He is the one that designed all the road. He is the maker. He is the scientist. He is the mathematician. So, and he's saying, if you will follow my directive, if you will follow the Torah of life, if you will follow the tree of life, then that tree will guide you on the way as you go. Because the Torah will give us the understanding of what is to come. So that is what I'm saying, my people, this morning. Rabbi Nachman said that every person is called in her own way, at his own level. God answered one person with a shout, another one with a song, and the third one with a whisper. It is like the shepherd and the sheep. As long as the sheep do not wander too far, they can hear the shepherd's flute. As long as the shepherd is close, the shepherd can hear the bell of the sheep. But when the sheep stray too far, they no longer hear or are heard. The shepherd, remember, is constant. It's the sheep that stray too far away from the shepherd. Remember, it's like the shepherd and the sheep. When the sheep stray too far away from the shepherd, they will not listen, they will not hear the flute of the shepherd. And when the sheep stray too far from the shepherd will not be able to hear the bell of the sheep. And I said, understand that the shepherd is always constant. It's always there. It's not going anywhere. It is the sheep that draft away from the shepherd. It is us that draft away from the Creator. It is not the Creator that is drafting away from us. The Creator is always constant. The Creator is always there. It's not moving anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It is us that draft ourselves away from the shepherd, from the Creator. And the Creator is saying, come, my people. Come, my children. Come back, my sheep. Come back and hear my flute. Come back and hear my voice. Come back and hear me. So when we return home, when we come back and we return home, that is when we can be able to hear what the shepherd is saying. But if we drift away, because we say, things of life have drifted us away from the Creator. Many of us, we have in our mind, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to make a lot of money. We think everything about money in North America. They tell you time is money. Money, 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 money. But what about your spiritual life? What about the core of your essence? You can consume everything that you have upon your physical flesh. But what about your spiritual one? I'm telling you, everything is important. Both the physical and the spiritual. But we have to balance them out. That is what God is saying. Because many people doesn't want to balance it out. They want to make it to be disbalanced. And once it is disbalanced, it will never work. We have to make it balanced for it to work. And I said, the shepherd, remember, is constant. is the sheep that stray too far away from the shepherd. And then nothing will bring them back together, nor the call, nor the bell, nor the journey, because the sheep have drifted away too far from the shepherd. We are also taught that whenever someone interrupts his journey, whenever someone loses a way, the road goes into mourning, the road goes into shouting, the road goes into singing, and the road goes into whispering. Because you and the road are partners. Remember that. The road cannot do without you, and you cannot do without the road. It is like a partnership. So when you lose your road, the road is mourning. The road will be crying. Why did this young man, why did this young woman, why did this man, why did this woman, why did this rabbi loses his road or lose his road? Why? The road goes into money. But when you continue on the road, on the path of righteousness, on the path of faithfulness, on the path of justice, the road will be shouting. The road will be rejoicing. The road will be happy. So, let us celebrate Be-Midbar. Let us celebrate the wilderness, the journey. Let us celebrate not arrival, but the passage. Because we are not arriving yet. Our arrival is in the Garden of Eden. But this is the road that will lead us onto the Garden of Eden. This is the road that will lead us onto the paradise. Let us celebrate the road. Let us be happy. Let us rejoice. Let us ask God to give us energy and strength to be able to reach the goal. And our goal is to do what? To be counted worthy at the end of the journey. Let us celebrate not doing but being. Let us celebrate not there but here. Let us celebrate the road, the moving through, the being here, the journeying, and the wilderness within, and the wilderness without. Let us celebrate. Let us glorify God. Let us give God the thanks. For as it is said in the book of Psalm 136, the Lord is good. His mercy forever endures. Parshas Be-Midbar, the journey within and the journey without. May God bless us. May God keep us. May God continue to give us the energy and the grace to see the journey through.